Gonna talk a little bit about this Holley 670 TBI, my 1992 Chevy Silverado K1500, the Chevy 350. I've had this truck for about 10 years now, 8 of which that Holley's been on here, and it's worked great for me. I have it paired up with this Edelbrock intake. In the future, if I keep this truck any longer, which I may, I've already had it 10 years, I'll port match the Holley to the intake. I don't think they're quite the same size as I was reading, but it'd be worth checking out. They might as well port match the intake to the headers, or to the heads, and then from the heads to the headers. But this little guy has been great. 670 CFM. I had some backfire issues. You can see I kind of toasted the wires, taped them up. That was quite a few years ago now. But the 670, one of the biggest issues that I hear about these is overfueling. It just makes your fuel completely rich and the engine seems unconsolable. There's like nothing you can do to fix that. Well, I figured out how to fix my issue because I was having that issue for a little bit. There is a fuel pressure regulator diaphragm under here. Let me get up there, I'll show you. You can see there's only a couple little screws you have to take out, and the diaphragm is pretty straightforward. And mine was ripped and burnt and stuck open, so mine was toast. So I don't know if they come with cheap ones or if it just blew over time or what. But it was cheap to replace. I can't remember how much, maybe 10 bucks, 20 bucks, somewhere in there. And now it runs just fine. I don't have any overfueling issues. It's not burning rich. It exhaust smells like it should. Fuel economy went up. Air fuel mixture is nice, so when I step on the throttle it actually goes instead of bogs down. So after 8 years, I'm still pretty happy with this thing, and I've been kind of going back and forth with the idea of upgrading to one of the EFI systems like Edelbrock or the Holley, and they seem like great options. They're just a little spendy and require extra fuel pumps or different fuel pumps, and we'll see. If I do a full engine rebuild, I may do that, but this thing's still pumping great for me. And I think with some port matching and some better than stock heads on here, these have the swirl ports, which are great for, idle to 3,500 RPMs, but they kind of run out of air after that. And I still have the stock flat tappet cam in there as well. So we'll change that at some point if I keep this truck. It's been really fun for me to work on, so I may keep it. I believe they still sell these things. I'll put the part number and a link if I can find it in the description. It directly bolted on to the Edelbrock intake manifold and will bolt onto your stock intake manifold as well. I think the most difficult part was attaching the fuel lines, but that's just kind of a given with these TBIs. They're just kind of a pain in the ass if you have the hard lines. But it was doable. I think since then I have replaced a couple sensors on there. That may have been it. Otherwise it's been pretty reliable. Go ahead and start it up. You can see what it do. So if you have one of these old trucks and you're thinking about getting a Holley 670 and it's within your budget, might as well go ahead and go for it. One of the reasons why people will choose these over like going over a 454 TBI system is that the injectors on a 454 TBI are a bit bigger, and at idle it dumps way more fuel than you're using, and so it runs a little rough and you burn through your fuel pretty quick. You get that rich smelling fuel. So I mean, if you don't mind that, then do what you gotta do. Or if you could find one of these on Craigslist or eBay secondhand, and that's also a good option. You can get them on Amazon, Summit, Jags, pretty much anywhere. They're pretty common these days, and they work great. I noticed immediately this thing kind of put me back in my seat a hell of a lot more than the stock TBI. Actually, I had to relearn how to use it. It took me by surprise, or relearn how to drive it. It took me by surprise when I first got it. I wasn't used to all that throttle response. Used to laying into the pedal and then, you know, slowly ramping up on a merge lane instead of just getting it right off the go. So it will definitely increase your bottom end torque. Haven't run an actual dyno on this thing, but with every part that I put on, it seems to get just a little bit better. That's the Holley 670 CFM TBI for the 88 to 95 GMC Chevy 350s. Smash that like button if you found this helpful or useful or even the slightest bit entertaining. Hit subscribe if you want to see more videos on this truck. And we'll see you on the next one.